and today I'm speeding through my thoughts about the latest Natasha Denona purchases that I've added to my collection. What I wanted to talk about was the fact that I sometimes really enjoy Natasha, and other times I'm kind of left going, I don't know. But these were things that actually pulled me in. Now, I did not purchase the palette, my Dream palette from Natasha, but I did pick up the cheek palette, the lip liner, and the lipstick. And I'm going to talk about those first. Now, what I'm struggling with is that I have really enjoyed the formulas of these products, but I don't know that I'm in love with the colors. So let's start in. This is the cheek palette. Cute packaging. It's metal, but the covered metal, resistant to fingerprints. Now, it's got a mirror, 3 colors. These are kind of the cream to powderish sort of formulas of the blush. They're dry, they go on in a creamy sort of way, but then you don't have to powder over them. They just kind of are very soft, more powder-like on the skin, which I prefer. I don't like having my blushes stay dewy or sticky, so I was really excited about that. This is more of the cream formula of highlighter. This is nice for if you're doing a no makeup look, or if you're wanting something that's very it's softer, but it's a little more a wet sort of a look, but it doesn't feel that way. It also feels more on the cream to powderish sort of side. And then the highlighter. Now you can see in the beautiful morning sun, I just applied the powder one today. But it's giving off a nice shimmer. It looks pretty. It's not overly like particulate sparkly. But what I'm struggling with is when I saw this and then I swatched this in the store, I felt like it read more mauve-y to me, more of like a cooler purpley sort of tone. But this is reading very warm and more red on my skin. Let me go ahead and swatch that for you so you can see clear on a swatch. So I had swatched this in store. I felt like, oh, that was going to be a good color for me. But as I'm coming into it, I feel like if I'm not really careful with it, it turns more of a red color on me. And just as a comparative, my Alice in Wonderland cheek duo, now this is powder, but I've been really loving this, and this ends up, even though it looks a little bit closer in the pan, this is very much more like that pinky blue toned. So you can see the difference. So depending on how your skin color changes the blushes that you have, this new Natasha Denona might read a little differently on you, but I'm just finding that it's much warmer on than I thought it was going to be. So I'm trying to decide, that's not necessarily my favorite, way of having a blush. It seems to bring out more of that ruddiness in my skin, depending on what else that I'm pairing it with. But so I really love the formula. I like the look. I don't love the color on me. I've seen other creators use it and it's just a really lovely color on them, but it doesn't read that way on me. So I'd say if you are maybe a little cooler complected, that it might not turn as ruddy on you. It might stay in that more cool tone category. Can't talk this morning, I'm still needing more coffee. But I'm on the fence as to whether or not to keep this, to welcome it into the collection, as far as that goes, to be there, not in perpetuity, nothing stays in perpetuity, but to welcome it fully into the collection, just because the color is not the most flattering on me. But I feel like a lot of people are really gonna love this, and I do love the formula. Speaking of things that I love the formula that I'm not loving the color, so today I have both the lip pencil and the lipstick. Cute packaging, same sort of the heavier plasticky coated, feels like the metal coated with plastic. This lip liner, the formula is terrific. Goes on really creamy, is exceptionally long wearing. So here's the swatch of that. I'm going to let it set a little bit, and then I'm going to rub on it. And you'll be able to see it's waterproof. It also, you won't be able to see that, but it's waterproof and rub proof. And so the formula is fantastic. Now again, I'm coming up on the notion that this is a very light color on me. I did not expect that. I swatched this and I was like, oh, that's totally gonna show up on my face. It's gonna be not a problem at all. It is very, very light on me, and it's also very cool toned, which is different than like I said, the blush is turning more reddish and warm tone, and this is more cool tone and super pale. So you can see with the lipstick on, this is a very pale look for me. Okay, now let me see if I can rub on the lipstick. I have lots of lotion on. So if you put emollients down, like I said, I have a lot of lotion, you can rub on it and that'll start to try and come off. So if you're applying it, if you've had like an emollient lip balm on, make sure that's fully removed before you apply the lip liner. But even then you can still kind of see that, and I'm rubbing on it. But this, if you don't have that emollients down and you let it set, isn't going anywhere. You'll have that on until you take it off, pretty much. Now the lipstick, same thing. In-store swatching, has a nice, lovely, just a very light vanilla scent, which I like. I like the packaging. Because she had said that she had reformulated, I wanted to take a chance, but I had to go swatch it first because I had got the Daphne shade from I Need a Rose, and it was so drying. I ended up decluttering that almost immediately. So drying. So when I got this, I got and swatched it, and it's like, oh no, that's nice and creamy. That's really emollient. Feels really good. And it has a little bit of glossiness to it by itself. So when I swatched, I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally gonna show up as a color on my lips. But once I get it on, you see how light this is. It's really light. My partner had joked that this was the color that they used in films on the dead girl. Or he said, you know, but no, it doesn't have to be the dead girl. He's like, you know, you could see it as like a goth party look with like white hair and wild colors, and it had this pale lip. You know, and my friend Z said it looked very mod and kind of 60s on its own. So I don't know that I love the color. I love the feel of it. I love the wear of it. I like how it makes my lips look also, but the color is so much lighter than I anticipated. And so I did try this week pairing it with darker lip liners, and there was some success there, but it's still a very light lip color, and almost for me would be like the idea of a gloss over another color. Now I did not pick up the gloss from this line because although it's very pretty, my Sigma Alice in Wonderland gloss in the creme formula looked almost exactly like it. So there was no need for me to pick up another gloss of the same color, but it was very pretty. So, you know, if you like glosses, if you're liking the Natasha Denona formulations and that, the gloss is really lovely. I don't think you'd be sad about wearing it. But if you are super pale, this will probably show up on you. I have seen a lot of creators that Allie Glines had done this with just the liner and a gloss, I believe, and that had a completely different color read on her than it does on me. But I'm kind of in that, I'm not in the fair, but I'm in the light category, and so this is how it's showing up on me. I feel like if you were lighter or darker, it might be a better match, but when you're kind of in this light category, it just seems very pale and ghostly. So anyway, I feel like these purchases, and the lips, great formulations. The color just maybe isn't for me, but I think it might be for other people. That said, we're moving on. I did not pick up the eyeshadow palette because I already have a lot of those colors in her My Dream palette. And so I did not pick that up. It didn't really, you know, feel like it was going to be an addition to my collection that I needed. However, this bad boy I have the mini of this, of the retro, and the retro palette, everybody says, you know, did not turn out like they assumed that it would be from the mini. Now I'm attracted to this color story. I have the ABH Nouveau, and basically it's not a dupe. Okay, like shade for shade is not a dupe, but the ethos of it is the same, and you can get some of the same type of looks on the eyes with it. This does not go very deep. You're going to get any depth on it. This itself, it's the kind of a shimmer shade. It doesn't read hugely deep on the eye. I'm wearing that today as my darkest color. And you can get pink looks, you can get green looks, and you can get neutral looks out of this. You can get matte looks and shimmer looks, but it's not going to be a huge differentiation. You would probably deepen this with other products in your collection. Like today, I had the Laura Geller Kajal in this gray. This is the Twilight Kohl, so it's a taupey gray. And so that's where a lot of the depth and the look comes from, is that, not from the shadows itself. So really, if you're wanting different looks out of it, you really have to pare down the number that you're using. So I'm using these three here, and then this is my inner corner highlight. And you can kind of get a different look of that. It's not going to give you a huge variety of looks, and it's not going to give a lot of impactful, like bam looks. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be sadly disappointed. But it does give you pretty looks. It gives you about 4 specific looks. The green ones are the most beautiful, the shimmery green ones. And you can, throw a rock and you'll see a creator right now doing looks with that. And the thing is, like, a lot of them, they're like, I'm going to do a second look and a third look, and it looks exactly like the first. And, like, did you need to do another look? Nah, not really. I think the only person that I can say, I remember watching Julia Adams do the differentiation for the 3 looks that she had for a Pat McGrath, the Bridgerton 2 collection, that she was actually able to get different looks, that you could definitely tell were different. But some of that was because she was very particular about limiting the number of colors. A lot of people, when they were doing it, were always trying to use all the colors in the pan, or all the things that jumped out of them, originally. And they weren't really saying, okay, I'm only going to use these 2 colors and make those colors really pop. So to me, that was kind of a lesson in if you want the look to look different, you have to more pare things down rather than use lots of different colors. Because I think with this one, the more colors you're using, the more apt you are to have them look the same. But that doesn't mean it's not pretty. And if you are looking for something that'll give you that pretty look in the Natasha formula, which is great, the mattes are nice, the shimmers are nice. Again, you're not going to get anything just ba-bam out of this, but it's very pretty. And if this sort of color story appeals to you, then you're going to like the palette. It was different enough from her other things that she had out, and enough in my wheelhouse of the green and light pink, that I jumped on it. The last day of the Sephora sale, when it showed up on the app, I got it for the 20% off. So I feel really good about the purchase. I will use this. But like I said, if you have the ABH Nouveau on the eye, you're probably going to be getting a lot of the same looks as that. So if you have ABH Nouveau, you don't really need that. If you're a green lover, maybe you do need both. And that's, hello, my name is Monica, and I like the green palettes. So I did buy that. I am happy with this. I would buy it again. I did like getting 20% off of it. So you might hang on and see Natasha Denona for this, like the Black Friday and the holiday, if you can get some sort of a deal or a package deal from the website, from the Natasha Denona website. All right, so I think probably this is such a mixed bag for me. I'm loving the formulas, I'm not loving the colors, or I'm loving the thing, but it's not like going to be the, smash hit of the century look on my eye. It's going to be just like, this is a lovely look. I have a little bit of leeway on the sorts of looks that I create, but it's all going to be just light, lovely. That's what it's going to be. So there you have it. I don't know how exciting that is. That's why I kind of thought, well, let's just group them all together, because the looks themselves, maybe not that exciting. I'm excited about where the direction the lip formulations are going to. I'm excited about the cheek formulations, and maybe, you know, if there's more colors that come out of those formulations. I'm definitely going to pick those up, just at least dip my toe in to try it. But for this collection, it's like, it's nice. So I don't know that you would run right out and get it. Definitely watch other creators with different skin tones, because I think that makes a huge difference, because the products themselves are quality and nice, but will it look good on you? That's really, you got to find somebody with your skin match. Alicia Archer does great swatches of this bad boy, a little deeper skin tone, so definitely check her out. And then these have been out long enough that you should be able to find a creator with your skin tone. I feel like if you're in the darker than Alicia, you're probably not gonna get much use out of the blush, but the highlights could be nice. But that's 2 out of 3 colors, and maybe you just want to get a highlight, because there's others that are just as good, even if you want to stay in Natasha. So anyway, there's my speedy review. I don't know how speedy it was. I don't know how good it was, but there you go. That'll give you some more information for your buying, and especially if you have my skin tone, that'll give you a lot more information on whether or not to pick this up. All right, thanks for tuning in. This is Monica with MS4, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.